And we are here getting ready for the second game of at least 5 straight that Sheboygan A's will be playing as Sheboygan takes on the Milwaukee Heavy Hitters for, I believe, the 3rd time this year. Just the 2nd time, okay? And we do have a good game ready up, 9 innings of play. Going over the starting lineup for the Heavy Hitters, we have Jedvier Garcia, the shortstop, Emilio Ramos at second, Miles Porter, the DH, Pedro Bobanagua at third base, Ryan Santi, the catcher, Joey Lawrence at first, Eric Rodriguez, the left fielder, Sean Quilis, the right fielder, and Zach Pachoka in center field. And pitching for the Heavy Hitters will be Luke Miller. Meanwhile, on the mound for Sheboygan will be Dawson Silvosky, getting ready to pitch a few innings of work. So far has pitched 7 2/3 innings with a 3.52 ERA. He's hoping to keep up a strong, if still a little bit limited in year in terms of how much he's played. But just going over the Sheboygan fielding situation, from right to left on your infield, Jimmy Jurgensen will be playing at first base, Davis Wilson playing at second base, Jack Council at short, and then Harry Stelt over at third. Meanwhile, in the outfield, left fielder Carson Hansen, center fielder Gus Walker, and right fielder Brady Zackerson, with Ian Mary behind the plate.
Tonight's game for Davis Wilson, in talking to him last night, I didn't want to say anything, but tonight is his last game as a player for the Sheboygan A's. Tim Moyer's trying to talk to him, Charlie, into staying on and helping coach the team. But his shoulder injury is just too much. He finds it really difficult to throw and painful. They have him at second base tonight. Hopefully he'll hold up okay, but we wish Davis Wilson nothing but the best. He's very popular with his teammates. We found that out with our bios. His name was mentioned several times.
Of course, we will be going over Davis Wilson's bios throughout the game today as Sheboygan ready to set up in the top of the inning. Silvosky ready for the first pitch. Garcia is going to be first pitch swinging. A little bit of a tough hop, but Harry, a nice throw, will retire Garcia. Harry, I think, knew that it was still a bit of a close play, but Harry knew that he could still get that throw in time. And sure enough, no problems there as Emiliano Ramos will show up for the Heavy Hitters. We talked about this briefly in our last bout with the Heavy Hitters, but, well, they are very fitting to their name. They are very strong hitters, and part of the core of that is Emiliano Ramos, as Silvosky is ready for his first pitch. Will be inside the strike zone. There'll be a strike. Emiliano Ramos, a .519 average, the .606 on base, and .852 slugging. As that one will be chipped foul.
One of the things we mentioned about, because several of their players had almost cartoonish type of batting averages, they were so high, and when we looked at the scores of their games, I mean, they're winning games 25-1 and 19-0, and some of these just blowout wins. And in those kind of games, that's when they probably stacked up their batting averages. When it gets to being against better competition like Sheboygan and the West Dallas Nationals, those averages are going to start to come down a little bit.
Pitch outside brings it to a 2-2 count.
We have the lineup from the box score from the last time, and Garcia, the leadoff hitter, didn't appear in the game last week. And Ramos, I don't see his name, and he batted 7th in the first game last week that they played each other.
Full count now. Silvosky trying to work against Ramos. That one will be well outside for a walk.
Coming into tonight's game, Charlie mentioned he's gone 7 2/3 innings. In those 7 2/3, he's walked 6. So if he got an out here, that gives him 8 innings on the year, and he's already got 7 walks. Gonna have to clean that up, Charlie.
Dawson still, again, even with that, and he's not much of a strikeout pitcher either, just 6 on the year up to this point, but still manages to keep runners off base, still manages to prevent runs, a 143 walks plus hits per innings pitched. So again, similar, around that range of 2 base runners every 3 innings. Something that you're always going to want because not allowing base runners is pretty important for preventing runs.
Dawson and Ian Mary, his catcher tonight, both went to North High School and played baseball at North, and I'm sure Ian caught Silvoski before Dawson moved on to college. Dawson is a year ahead of Ian Mary, I believe, might be even 2 years ahead, but anyway, they both played for North, and they're familiar with each other.
Lots of Sheboygan camaraderie out here. 0-2 pitch is popped well up in the air. And Davis going to easily grab that one. Davis Wilson picking up his first fielding appearance on the day so far. Always going to be happy with that. Pedro Bobonagua coming in. And of those people that we've mentioned that, some ridiculous stats from the heavy hitters, Bobonagua, a 421 average, 522 on base, and a 947 slugging percentage. It's 5 home runs on the year, as that one will be popped.
Hey, Charlie, preface that with what he did in the first game.
First game
he played last
he
week.
Did, although, of course, our first game against him, he had the rare golden sombrero, 4 strikeouts in the 9-inning game. So last time, Sheboygan able to shut him down. Brad Reinflesch managing to have Bobonagua's number. It's the 0-1 pitch. Dawson going to take his time and pitch a little bit around Bobonagua, I think. Ramos over at first.
Doesn't appear to be taking a real big lead. It'd be interesting to see if he tries to get himself into scoring position for Pedro.
That one will be hit well and right in front of Brady Zackerson. And a little bit of a hesitation over at second by Ramos, but does not end up costing the heavy hitters, despite the solid throw by Zackerson.
Well, if Emilio would have tried to go to third, I think he would have been out at third because Brady's got a good arm.
Pretty good arm, and of course that throw to Jack Council was still pretty close, so even if it was cut off, solid relay still gets him through there.
Santi played right field last week when these two teams played. He's catching tonight.
Lefty hitter for Milwaukee coming in. He's going to follow that one back.
Dawson is going to have to work himself out of a jam. Santi had a hit in that first game and a couple of walks.
Ramos over on second, Bobonagua over on first for the heavy hitters catcher on the 0-1 count. That one high and outside. Solid fastball there by Silvoski. Don't believe we've seen him too much in our streamed games. Hasn't made too many home appearances, I don't think.
I thought I remember him coming into a game that was pretty tight, and he pitched just a couple of innings, but he shut the other team down, and that turned out to be a huge play.
Chipped on over to Council, and Council the high throw, a little bit too high, and Jimmy not able to get the throw on that one, not able to come down with the tag.
I got him for an infield hit. Would have been a tough play for Jack Council. And now the heavy hitters got the bases loaded.
Bill calling it an error on Council. One of those plays that it's a little bit difficult to tell, if that's an error, if that's a hit. It was a difficult play, but throw out there, and Lawrence skying one well back, but Hansen easily camped under it to retire, and despite the bases getting loaded, Sheboygan managing to get away without any runs, and they're ready to come up hitting next.
Bill, you give him an error?
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support programs like Boys and Girls Clubs and Girls Who Code that show kids they can dream anything and do even more.
Cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio.
And Sheboygan ready to start off the bottom part of their inning, ready to come on and hit for the first time. Going over their lineup, Davis Wilson will be leading off. He's playing second base. Jack Council, the shortstop. Then Carson Hansen, Harry Stelt, Brady Zackerson, Jacob Neese, Jimmy Jurgensen, Ian Mary, and Gus Walker rounds out the order.
I talked with Jimmy before the game as I was coming into the park, Charlie, and asked about that substitution last night with Riley coming in to bat for Gus, and he said Tim just wanted to get a righty-lefty matchup. He thought Gus just was having a tough time with the left-handed pitcher, and that's why he made the switch. And turned out to work. We wound up winning the ball game, and
Worked in the end.
interesting how they manipulated the defense at the end too.
Ended up working with Jack Council, getting that nice running grab to end off the game.
Right, exactly.
Pitching for Milwaukee is Luke Miller, coming into this game with a 2.79 ERA, 1.40 WHIP, and as well as 33 strikeouts and 20 walks. So, someone who does give up a fair few walks, but does also strike out quite a bit, and Sheboygan trying to hope to prevent that in this game.
Yeah, Miller, a tall, skinny kid, looks like he throws pretty hard. You mentioned it's reflected in the amount of strikeouts.
And
if I remember correctly, didn't Santi display a pretty good arm and right the first game?
and
now he's catching because, that
so.
throw down to second looked awfully good.
And now Davis Wilson getting ready for his first at-bat, I guess you could say.
Right, and one of the things when I talked with Davis last night before the game is he talked about his injuries, he's not able to play like he wants to. And anyway, one of the things that'll help is he said he's a good golfer and he's going to focus on golf at Marion instead of playing baseball.
It's always good to have those secondary plans.
Exactly.
As you said, going to Marion University, a major in communications as he grounds that one over to short. And the pretty easy throw from Garcia will get Davis out. We will get to more of Davis's bio as he comes up, whether that be, makes a nice fielding play, we might bring him up. Obviously, every time he hits, we'll bring something up. As Jack Council comes on in.
Council had a double last night, raised his average to 222.
Still
and
a
like
little.
Charlie said, made that game-saving catch in the ninth last night.
Council still a little bit slow to start off his A's career, but of course, always can be able to break out of that, and that's something that Sheboygan has been starting to do a little bit recently.
Think of it
as
this
a
way,
team.
Charlie. If he gets a hit this at bat, he's a 300 hitter.
Watches that one outside. As I was saying, Sheboygan, just as a team starting to heat up. Talked before the game, CJ mentioned that we've won 5 of our last 6. So,
right, and I think, 3 in a row now?
And that one will get through. And Jack Council, the 300 hitter, with a single.
Way to go, Jack.
Rode that one right past Bobanagua. And Council, a lot of speed out there on the base paths.
Does have 1 stolen base on the year. Be interesting to see how Tim handles this, if they're going to have him stealing or try to keep him at first and give Hansen a little bigger hole to work with on the right side of the infield.
And Hansen going to chip that one over to first, 3-6-3. and a fairly easy double play. So despite getting a hit, Sheboygan ends up not threatening, but looking to continue the solid pitching performance as we head to the top of the second.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you don't just feed yourself or your family. You help support programs like Simply Give that feed our neighbors in need.
Thank you.
I grew up working in my family's supper clubs. This is where it started with us as far as the fish that we serve at Culver's today. We source the finest cod and batter each fillet by hand and always cook it to order. That beautiful golden brown color and flaky on the inside. The fish fry is a Midwest tradition. It's about families coming together. I love bringing this tradition to guests everywhere. Mom and Dad would be proud. Welcome to Delicious.
Wingism number 1, the Flavor Saver. Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 2.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you don't just feed yourself or your family. You help support programs like Simply Give that feed our neighbors in need.
Thank you. Milwaukee getting ready to hit the bottom of the heavy hitters order coming up. Dawson Silvosky got himself into a little bit of a jam at the last inning, but managed to work through that very well.
Got a lot of zeros up on that top line with the batter being a double zero.
And that one hit well by Rodriguez and right in front of Brady. Solid first pitch swinging hit from the heavy hitters.
They're not holding back. They're coming right after Dawson.
Lots of first pitch swings, number of first pitch hits as well. And Rodriguez, I mean, no, heavy hitters, a lot of very good hitters, but Rodriguez probably the one that, just looking at the stats out of the starting lineup, probably the one you want to see the most if you're a pitcher, with a 167 average coming into this game. Boost that one up as Silvosky throws a strike. Brings up Sean Quilis. Right fielder on the day, played catcher previously. Pickoff move will go nowhere.
Almost had him, well, he did have him leaning, but Rodriguez able to get back. But nice move by Dawson.
Very nice move, but of course, you know, the righty pickoff attempts always a lot more difficult as Mary manages to get that one recovered pretty well. Nice block from the backstop. Mary, don't see him all too often in our games. We've mostly been seeing Justin Schnell out behind the dish, but Ian Mary getting the start tonight.
And part of that might have to do with giving Justin a break. And again, like I mentioned earlier about the familiarity between Ian and Dawson.
Familiar, as well as potentially trying to hold Schnell for some of the, the upcoming games in the upcoming tournament.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Another nice block from Mary behind the dish.
We do have a trivia question for the game tonight, too. We'll bring you that a little bit later.
If you were here at the park yesterday, you might know the trivia question, but we're not gonna spoil exactly how.
Right, exactly. It'll be for the people that weren't here last night. It'll be new.
And Quilis will draw a walk to bring up Zach Pachoka.
One thing you'd like to do as a pitcher is when you get to that bottom part of the order, 7, 8, 9, is get those guys out. And Dawson's allowed that 7 and 8 hitter to reach base.
Joka settling in, the center fielder on the day for Milwaukee. And lays down a bunt and only plays over at first. And even then, not in time. I would call that an infield hit.
Yep, definitely.
Even with the high throw.
So bases loaded and nobody out.
That was just a very solid bunt. Pachoka, I think, the intention on that was the sacrifice bunt, but ends up being right in that perfect spot where Savosky can't quite make a play. And now, again, bases loaded as Yedvier Garcia comes up.
So Harry and Jimmy are even with the bag. They'll be coming home on any ground ball to them. If it's hit to the middle infielders, they're going to go for the double play and allow a run to score.
So you're going to watch that one outside. Grounded out to Harry in his first at-bat. Of course, the heavy hitters, not seeing too much of Savosky on the game, have been pretty aggressive with him. And that one swung out and into the gap out there and managing to hold it. And a bit of a rundown over between second and third. And they end up getting Pachoka on that one. But still an RBI for Yedvier Garcia.
Give him a base hit, too, on that. Because they weren't going to get him at first. Bad base running by Pachoka.
Still a quick run for Milwaukee. Something that Sheboygan is always... a lot of times, Sheboygan has been a very good comeback team, but you still never want to be in a situation where you need to come back.
You don't want to get down too many runs. That's for sure.
That one a pretty nice move out there, but always difficult for the righty to get the runner at first.
Garcia, the leadoff hitter, is on first, and normally you associate a leadoff hitter with having good speed. It'll be interesting to see what Garcia does.
Not a huge lead over at first, as Ramos will swing through that one. Entered in on got on base on a walk in the first inning, but was left stranded. Savosky still working through. And no throw down to second. Now going to risk the runner from third coming in. So Garcia going to get a easy uncontested stolen base. Now no double play ball for Sheboygan as we have Aces Wild out here. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Almost swing and fouling that one back was a bit under it.
Dawson in quite a jam. Hopefully he can hold them to just the 1 run. The way the infield's playing, Charlie, I'd say anything hit to them is going to be a throw to first, not home, because they're all back.
Again, no double play ball, so just want to get the out by any means necessary. Give up a run right now. Then you can prevent any more runs from scoring, perhaps, as another one fouled back by Ramos. He's been a little bit under it, fouled them straight back. Dawson still doing a good job of keeping things close to the zone in this at-bat.
Yeah, 1 ball, 2 strike count. A strikeout would be huge.
And that one checked a little bit, but nowhere near enough to go around.
Ian Mary doing a great job of keeping the ball in front, too. That ball was in the dirt.
Dawson, I think, definitely looking for that strikeout, trying to experiment a little bit more with pitches outside, make him swing and miss. But that one not quite successful on there. Two. That one outside as well.
You mentioned that Ian goes to Platteville and he's industrial systems engineering major.
Full count. Savosky sets and throws and gets the strikeout on Ramos. A huge strikeout for Sheboygan. Leaves things with 2 outs from Miles Porter. Porter had a pretty high pop fly up to Davis Wilson back in the first. So Sheboygan would be more than happy to have that same result. That one, first pitch on the outside corner, so that will be in for a strike. Savosky, of course, started off this inning with the full, the bases loaded, no outs, has now gotten the 2 outs on there. So a very nice performance as that one is hit up the middle. Council going to field it off a bit of a difficult hop, and the throw is in time. Only 1 run scoring off of the early jam, but Sheboygan hoping to come back as Milwaukee leads it 1-0.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support organizations like Hope House Mission and New Hope Shelter that give people around here warmth, shelter, and care.
Me spells the great taste of Sheboygan.
What does it take to stay in business for 75 years? It's not only featuring USDA choice beef. It's not caring about every single one of our 30 varieties of bratwurst. Nope. After being family-owned for 3 generations, we've learned it's about you. At Miesfeld's Market, we give back to the community, and our customers always come first. Since 1941, we've been feeding our neighbors, so come by and see what we've got today.
Wingism number 3, the Peter Heater.
Oh, so hot. Oh, so hot!
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 4, tea time.
What are you, having tea with the queen?
Hello.
Nice.
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
And Sheboygan ready to come in as Harry Stout, the Northwoods cleanup hitter, on tonight. Hoping to get things started strong for the Sheboygan offense. Set down on a 1-2-3 last time despite a hit. And Harry will be watching that one just at the top of the zone.
Lawrence took that hard ground ball off of Hansen's bat, and man, that was a very slick 3-6-3 double play to end the inning and for Sheboygan in the first.
Sheboygan still managing to hit the ball pretty well out here, but a lot of times has been to the fielder. Of course, Jack Council did have the one that went through Bobanogwa's glove. Harry watches that one for the 2-1 count. Harry, a very consistently good on-base guy, always managed to get through as he swings through that one. I'm sure he wants to have that one back a little bit.
Right, that pitch was off the plate. He's doesn't normally swing at bad pitches. He's got a very good eye.
2-2 count. Harry going to swing and hit that one well into foul territory and out of play. Harry not going to... No, I think Harry knew that one was at least foul right off the bat.
Right, he knew.
We
didn't know because we didn't see it right away.
Only question on that one was whether or not it was staying in play. As Harry watches one inside. Full count now, something that is very common for seeing with Harry, those 3-ball counts. And he will draw the walk.
Good at bat for Harry. Sheboygan needs base runners.
Harry Stout has 17 walks on the year, at least coming into last game. I don't recall if he had any walks in yesterday's performance. Brady Zackerson coming
Harry,
up.
that was his 18th walk of the season. Now Brady Zackerson up, he's hitting .321.
Very strong year as he watches one outside.
Eric Hasenstein in the house, as is Sean. Sean's mom in the house, too.
Ready,
Ooh.
that one well inside. Backed off a little on that one.
A little chin music, Charlie.
Of course, you never expect the pitcher to be throwing, but anytime that you have a pitch that's high and inside, you always got to worry a little bit, as that one will be on the upper outside corner. 2-1 count, and Sheboygan, I think, doing a pretty good job at making Miller pitch. Going for some pretty decent counts, as Brady will foul that one well back. Solidly into our backstop. Two count. Brady looking to continue his strong start to the year, and he'll foul that one off.
Yeah, good job of hitting there to spoil that pitch.
That one, at least from my personal perspective, I thought that was, still a little bit on the outside, but, on a swing, still want to make contact with it. So,
yeah.
A very strong
Don't
hit
leave it up
there
to the umpire.
Ready, that one well outside. And watch that one for another full count for Miller.
Miller not as sharp as he was in the first inning.
Which one big thing that Sheboygan has been able to do, again, just keeping these at-bats alive, really make him work. Try to bolster up that walk count from Miller.
Defensively for the Heavy Hitters, all their infielders are back, and the outfielders are straight away.
A solid gap in that left center.
Not much of a breeze right now.
And that one just clipping the outside. Brady goes down on strikes on a very close play.
Yeah, of all the pitches that he chased, that was the one he should have still gone after. Our game time temperature is 70 degrees, and it's a little bit hazy out here, but certainly a nice night. Not too late to get out here to the ballpark. It's $1 hot dog night and $1 soda night. Charlie, you took advantage of that before the game.
Before the game, grabbed a couple hot dogs, as that one will be lined very nicely into left, and Neese on board with a base hit. CJ, was that with the new walk-up music? New walk-up music for Jacob Neese. And so far has worked out perfectly for him. Jimmy Jurgensen now settling in. Jimmy, very strong hitter coming into yesterday's game. Had a .341 on base percentage, so managed to get on base pretty well. And that one,
I thought he checked his swing and it hit off his bat, but apparently not. Got by the catcher, and runners move up.
Might have actually hit the ump as well. That's a weird play out here right now.
Jimmy stepping in. He's got 4 doubles and 2 homers, hitting .247. Yeah, the umpire got hit by that.
It's a bit of an awkward play on that one. I thought that one hit off the bottom of his bat, but it's possible that is what happened and just no call from umpire recovering from that, but he's working through it. The call still stands as the pass ball. Then it will be Harry on third and Neese on second.
Well, it's an excellent opportunity for Sheboygan to get some runs. We need to come through. Good to see the umpire bouncing back from being hit, and hopefully he'll be all right.
Looks like they will still call that a pass ball. I think Harry was right on top of that one, going right as it went past. I think Neese thought that it was hit off the bat a little bit.
Right, and Jimmy waved him to second base. Get down there. And he did. Second and third, 1 out.
Now a bit high, and again, a very strong Very good position right here for Sheboygan, especially with a good hitter like Jurgensen up. 2-0 swings through that one, a very healthy cut. And I think
2-1, still got an advantage on the count.
Jimmy, I think, maybe wanted to make that home run number 3 of the year. That one is well outside. Looked like a slider or some sort of breaking pitch going, kind of went a little bit too far.
Yeah, that was not a good pitch. Miller's not the same pitcher he was in the first inning. He's really struggling with the strike zone.
And Jimmy going to tip that one foul. Full count now. I want to say that every single hitter so far in this inning has gone to a full count with Miller.
I don't know if that's the case, but there's been a bunch of them. You're right there.
Only one close would be, I'm not sure if Neath was on a full count, but Jimmy will draw the walk to bring up Ian Mary. Mary, haven't seen too much of him on the year. I believe only 1 hit.
Right, 1 for 10 coming in.
1 for 10, I believe, also has a walk to go on top of that. And, of course, still very strong performance. You can get a walk, you can still drive someone in.
He's a strong kid. He can drive the ball a long way.
That one will be inside the strike zone. A 1 pitch. Mary going to watch that one outside. Of course, right now, Mary, again, just numerically not a great hitter so far on this year, but, with the catcher, always, as long as you have the defense there, which we've seen already a decent bit from Mary today, able to do very well at preventing the ball from going wild. That's always a strong thing for a catcher to have.
Right, exactly, and hopefully Ian can hang in there. He's got a 1-ball, 2-strike count.
Watch that one outside.
We mentioned Ian only has 1 hit in his 10 trips. He has struck out 3 times, however.
Going to hit that one. I want to think a little bit. That one might have been a little bit above the zone, but still swing fouling off again. Don't leave it to the umpire, as you had said earlier. So, don't usually want to be called up on strikes. And Mary going to watch that one. Another full count for the A's in this inning.
Yeah, big pitch coming up right here.
Bases loaded for pitch, and Mary swinging through that one. That
ball
one looked to be a ball 4 on that one, and Mary looking for another hit for an RBI, but instead comes up empty to bring up Gus Walker. Gus a little bit slow to start off this year.
He had a hit in the first game against these guys.
And that one drove in well into right field, going back and out of here. A grand slam for Gus Walker. And he had been slumping to start off this year, and hopefully that can end that slump. A solid 4 runs on the board for Sheboygan with that one. Gus Walker with a long ball.
Gus really nailed that one. He got the pitch he needed, put a good swing on it, and what was interesting was watching the right fielder turn to go after it, and he did something outfielders should never do. Never tip your cap off your head and then chase after the ball. Keep the hat on your head and go get it. And it didn't matter there because it was over the fence, but big hit at a big time in the ball game, and that was sweet.
Davis Wilson ready, a big hit to follow up with. Quickly down for the 0-2 count. Of course, Sheboygan still very happy with that inning. Davis going to watch one that looked to be close. What a ball called. Davis, of course, going over his bio a little bit more, has his favorite team as the Brewers, and he will strike on that one. We'll get into that a little bit more as we come into the top of the third inning, but Sheboygan managing to answer very well with a grand slam from Gus Walker, bringing their 4-1.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you shop for more than yourself. You help support sustainability in all our communities.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow, and for years to come.
Gus Walker managing to bring Sheboygan's lead up with a bang. A very, very well hit grand slam to right field. And now Dawson Silvasi with a comfortable lead. Of course, can't stay complacent with this Milwaukee lineup, as Pedro Bobanagua will lead things off.
For the season, Charlie, Gus has got 3 doubles, a triple, and now a home run. Jumped his RBI totals up from 4 to 8. That's pretty nice.
Double the RBIs with one swing of the bat. Always something you want to see, and Bobanagua will chip that one. We talked a little bit in the last inning. We were Davis Wilson, again, his last game with the club, at least playing. You mentioned before Tim Moyer hoping to see him in as a coach.
The one thing that's nice, wanting him as a coach, but his players like him. They like him as a teammate, and hopefully they can like him and respect him as a coach. And he certainly knows the game. Did a lot of pitching for Sheboygan a couple of years ago until he hurt his arm.
And Bobanagua just mashing a breaking ball that went a little bit too far down the middle. And Bobanagua, his 6th home run of the year. That one gone right off the bat. Not much of a difficulty there.
He stood at home plate and watched it sail out of the park. He knew it was gone.
I think just about everyone knew that was gone right away. Just, again, seeing that pitch almost, you knew right away. And with a hitter like Bobanagua, you can't leave those pitches right over the plate. Breaking ball just didn't go where Silvasi wanted it to. And that's where that home run being a grand slam really comes into effect. You still do have a lead.
Right. Yeah, you got to battle back from that long ball now and keep pitching. And good pitch there. Harry trotting in.
He'll snag that one for the quick out. Santi trying to capitalize off of potentially a momentum swing from Bobanagua's swing, but instead ends up popping it up.
I don't think 4 runs is going to be enough. We're going to have to get more runs on the board to beat this Milwaukee club.
Milwaukee very strong as Joey Lawrence settles in.
Lawrence made that good play on defense in the first when he took that hard grounder off the bat of Hansen and turned it into a 3-6-3 double play.
Watch that one go through. And so far in this game, Hansen and Lawrence have, and hitting, they've only gone to each other. Hansen with the grounder, and Lawrence flew out to Hansen back in the first. That one lined down the line and fair. Hansen on his horse, Brady. A strong throw over to second, but not in time. Actually goes past, but
good job by Harry to back up the play. Keep him from advancing, but it is a double.
A very well hit ball right down the line. And again, as you said, Harry, a very good job backing that up. Harry doesn't back that up, and if that gets to the fence, if Harry doesn't back it up, then that's maybe effectively an inside the park home run with the error.
That would have been a Little League home run, though.
Yeah, Little League home run, but a run is a run.
Exactly.
Bringing up Eric Rodriguez. Was the first run in the game.
6 hits already for the Heavy Hitters.
Line score so far, Milwaukee 2, 6, and 0 errors, while Sheboygan 4 runs on 3 hits with just 1 error. And that one will be not quite snagged by Wilson. He really wanted that one, but just awkward spin off the bat. Davis not quite able to get there.
Yeah, good effort by Davis, just not quite in time. But with a runner on first, you still have a chance for a double play to end the inning.
Davis, of course, a very important second baseman on tonight, and fitting that he's playing second base. He has his favorite player here as Dustin Pedroia, the longtime second baseman of the Red Sox.
Right, yeah. He was a good one.
Swing through that one is Quilis.
Let's see if Rodriguez runs. He's on at first. Heavy Hitters with runners on first and third.
Well, he already had success with the on the corner stolen base. That one just outside. Zavosky still recovering pretty well, not looking shaken from the leadoff home run. A lot of times pitching, you can kind of get in your own head a little bit. Dawson doesn't seem to be doing that, as that one is lined right up the middle. Lawrence will score without difficulty on the RBI single from Sean Quilis.
What was a 3-run lead is now down to a 1-run lead, and we still only have 1 out.
Tim Moyer quickly coming out. Doesn't look like we had anyone in the bullpen, so this one, just trying to, probably just telling Savosky, hey, just, stick to your pitches, stick to your guns. Again, like I was mentioning before, pitching is a very mental game on times. So, don't want to get screwed up. Don't really want to, overthink things, really.
Well, I don't think he's overthinking things. It's just his pitches aren't as effective as they were. He had that bases loaded jam in the second and nobody out. He only allowed 1 run to score, and he was able to come back with a strikeout and then the ground out. This inning, he's throwing the strikes, but they're just hitting the ball really hard.
And that is something that this Heavy Hitters team just overall does very well. Even if it is a lot of those times, even if they are, beating, lower level teams by 19 runs, you still have to have the hitting prowess to be able to get that. And that one, a high popped up bunt. Mary easily going to grab that. Pachoka trying to do another sacrifice bunt, I think, but instead...
Yeah, it's hard to know what he was doing, but I'm glad of the results. Pop it up.
Pachoka had reached on the bunt single back in the second, but that one not successful to bring up Yadvier Garcia.
Garcia 1 for 2 with an RBI.
An RBI is still on base. That one nicking the outside corner. 1-2 count. Dawson trying to settle in a little bit more.
You think about last night's game, we went 9 innings. It ended up 2-1. We've already got 7 runs scored, and we're not even through 3 innings.
Sometimes baseball can go that way. Have
Tom
one
Retzak looks like he's got about 4 hot dogs down there.
Very cheap. Again, very cheap out here. We still have our 50-50 raffle going on, so... got time, if you've got time to come down to the ballpark, sign up for the 50-50 raffle. Not quite free food, but $1 for food.
Hey, that's pretty cheap.
And time being called. Two-one count to Garcia. And that one hit well out into center. Gus Walker tracking it down and will snag that one to end off the inning. A little bit of difficulty following a lead-off home run from Pedro Bobanagua and then some just solid hitting by Milwaukee. But Sheboygan still ahead 4-3.
Let me tell you a story about a beer rooted in the heart of America, found in a community where a handshake is a sure contract, brewed for those who found opportunity in challenge and hope in tomorrow, raised by generations willing to sip, share, risk, remember. This is a story bigger than beer. This is the story of the American spirit.
All right, guys, we got teriyaki, honey barbecue, and mild. Enjoy. All right, DOA wings, hottest on the menu.
You got a problem?
Sheboygan ready to hopefully bolster this lead a little bit more after a big grand slam in the bottom of the second. Quickly, Milwaukee able to come back as Jack Council settles in for his second at-bat of the day. Takes the first one for a strike low in the zone.
Sheboygan's going to need more runs. The 4 runs in the second won't hold up.
Council singled in his first appearance. Watches 2 strikes early on. That one well high. Miller looking to bounce back from that second inning. Was forced to throw a lot of pitches. Sheboygan looking to do a little bit more. And Council blooping that one. And nice running grab out there in center by Pachoka. Jack Council just not quite able to get that one to drop. And be the first out of the inning. Brings up Carson Hansen. Grounded out into that double play back in the first.
Yeah, hit the ball very hard. He certainly wasn't fooled. Just hit it in a bad spot.
Hansen's still a very strong hitter. I believe doubled in his game yesterday.
Miller looks like a different pitcher this inning.
First inning had a lot of confidence. Third inning now bring that back as that one just barely outside. Hansen, a little bit of an open stance as he gets the 1-1 pitch. And that one hit well out into center. Pachoka tracking it down. And that one will bounce off the wall. And Hansen in with another double. Carson Hansen, the doubles machine, continuing on that strong hitting performance. And something that Sheboygan is sure to be glad to have, especially with Harry Stout coming up.
Harry was down in the count his first time up, no balls and 2 strikes, and was able to work a walk. Like to see him find a gap and drive Hansen in.
Carson Hansen, a newbie to Sheboygan in this program, and I'm sure that Tim Moore, everyone out here in Sheboygan, very glad to have Carson right before Harry, especially with as many doubles as Carson hits. Very solid here. Hasn't hit for too much power so far in this year, but has been hitting very well as he swings through that one. Tried to check his swing.
Yeah, not a good swing that time by Harry.
Harry coming into yesterday, 306 average with a 339 slugging percentage. So, only 2 extra base hits before then, as he will take a pretty tough hit and will get on base the hard way.
Didn't look like it hurt him. It was hard to tell where he got hit.
And Milwaukee going to be talking to Miller. Don't believe
Doesn't look like anybody's warming up in their bullpen. We can get a bit of a glimpse in the back. As far as Sheboygan's side, we can't see anything. Bleachers are in the way.
I mean, move your head around enough, you might be able to eventually catch a glimpse of either bullpen. But up here in our press box, we don't have, never fully have a great view of some certain areas of the field. Of course, out on our stream, even our wide shot can't get some of those corners. But
right, yeah, especially as soon as you start touching foul ground.
Brings up Brady Zackerson. Went down on a called strike in his last appearance. Hoping not to have that happen again, as he'll swing and hit that one well, but pretty quickly careened foul. I believe that one might have been. I didn't see it land, so it might have gone out of Wildwood.
Yeah, I didn't see it either. Everybody knew it was foul right away.
Miller settling in. Hanson being kept a little bit close to the bag.
Ramos checking him. Ramos, the second baseman, is pretty close to second base.
That one well outside for Brady. Brady so far on the year, probably the best hitter that Sheboygan has had in these first 25 games. Of course, this entire, what usually is the 2-3-4, as Brady will ground that one. Harry out at first, but no throw, or out at second, no throw over to first. Brady reaches on the fielder's choice. Of course, Sheboygan, normally Hanson, Stout, Zackerson, your 2-3-4. This game playing 3-4-5, with Davis Wilson being given the leadoff start.
We talked about this earlier in the year that last year's ball club was just a hitting machine up and down the lineup. And at season's end as a team, they hit 313. This year's team has not been performing anything near to that success rate. As a team coming in tonight, we were hitting 242. So it's a different ball club, and every year is a little bit different. You take what you get, and like Denny was saying last night in our interview, you just got to stay the course, keep plugging away. Things will get better.
And that one, a very nice pickoff move and a very quick tag, but not able to get Brady over at first. And really with the stay the course thing, that's something that we've seen a lot from Carson Hansen. Was pretty slow in his first 2-3 games. And now it has been hitting incredibly well. That one fouled off by Nice.
Hitting off that cement on the bottom of the backstop.
Nice, the DH on today. Getting ready for his 2-1 pitch. Has his favorite movie as Step Brothers.
Interesting.
We've Adam Sandler, Will Ferrell, I want to say.
I don't know. I never heard of that movie. Stolen base, though, for Brady.
Ryan Santi not going to attempt to throw on that one. So 3-1 count for Nice. And he'll watch that one.
I find it interesting how even through the course of this inning, I made a comment earlier that Miller looks a little bit like a different pitcher than he did in the second, and now he's kind of reverting back to that second inning mode. Hopefully Jimmy can capitalize on Miller's inability to throw quality pitches.
Jimmy, a very solid hitter to have out here. See what's a very strong breaking ball.
That was a nice pitch by Miller.
I think that one fooled Jimmy a little bit. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Same situation that Gus Walker hit his grand slam in. And something that I'm sure everyone out here at Wildwood will be glad to see happen again.
Come on, Jimmy.
That one grounded and will be fair. So easily put together, and despite the bases getting loaded, Sheboygan not able to come up with anything as we head into the top of the 4th.
Estimated hold time is now less than 96 minutes. We thank you for your patience.
Sorry, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, please hold.
And coming into the top of the 4th inning, Sheboygan still up 4-3 thanks to a Gus Walker grand slam. Dawson Silvosky looking to still hold this Milwaukee lineup to just these 3 runs. Of course, very difficult against this Milwaukee team. Emiliano Ramos coming in for his 3rd plate appearance of the day.
That's the other thing, Charlie, when you keep turning over the lineup, especially like Milwaukee has done early in the game, you'll have guys coming up all of a sudden. They're 4th at bat against Silvosky, and we mentioned that before. The more you see a pitcher, the more comfortable you get as a hitter, and all of a sudden you're getting more hits. And Milwaukee already with 8 hits.
Ramos has walked and struck out so far this game. Watches that one in for a strike.
Good breaking ball that time by Dawson.
Coming into this game, of the players that were starting for Milwaukee today, Ramos the highest on base percentage. Did see that go up a little bit more with the walk. There's a 6.06 coming into today. 1-1 count to Ramos, and he swings through that one. A little bit foul tipped. Dawson getting ready to continue his work. Still only 1 strikeout on the day, hoping for a nice number 2, and that one, another risky breaking ball.
Well,
same sort of pitch that Bobanagua
didn't quite get it down well enough, but boy, he had the batter fooled. Might have fooled the umpire too.
That one, another one, a high. I was thinking that breaking pitch a little bit risky with this top end of the Milwaukee order, because that same sort of pitch had Bobanagua with that very strong home run out to left center.
That's the thing. You got to pull it down, make sure it's not hanging up there.
Council going to throw it and got him. A very strong throw from Jack Council. Punches out Emiliano Ramos, who was flying down the base paths. But nothing doing as Miles Porter, the DH,
I don't know what I've noticed on ground balls to Council is he gets the ball And then he does a little shuffle, and it's not like he just gets it and throws it right away. And he makes those plays awfully close. And luckily we got the call there. Nice play. Good way to start off the inning, too, for Silvosky.
That one first pitch swing, and Davis Wilson not going to be able to grab that one. Miles Porter on base with the single.
Yeah, his first hit of the game. Uh-oh, here comes trouble.
Someone who has not been held hitless so far, Pedro Bobanagua, singled and home runned so far in the game. You got to think that Silvosky not going to try to be giving too much to hit to Bobanagua.
Interesting to see how they handle him. Starts him off with look like a fastball or change up. It was a straight pitch, whatever it was.
Right on the outside corner. Very strong one to throw. Just try to really get to the edge of that strike zone. Don't want to throw anything that he can get a solid hit on.
Yeah, exactly. Keep it away from his power. You know, anything on the middle to inside part of the plate, he's going to turn around and hit a long way.
That one hit high into the air and out of play, right on top of the Milwaukee dugout. Bounces off harmlessly. 1-2 count. Silvosky solidly in hand of this one, but still, again, with a hitter like Bobanagua, you can't risk. Still, you still gotta really paint that outside edge. 1-2 count. 1 out. Runner on first. Dawson taking his time. Not a big lead from Porter. And that one will chip off the ground. A little bit of a wild pitch, but Mary able to hold it in front of him.
That actually was a nice pitch, even though it was not a strike, because it gave something for Pedro to look at. Able to recognize it, but certainly wasn't in his power zone.
That one hits him on the outside corner. Bobanagua taken out looking. And that's something that you love to see if you're Sheboygan, getting rid of a dangerous hitter, someone that you've already seen be dangerous in this game. This brings up Ryan Santee, 0 for 2 on the day, but reached on an error.
Santee doing the catching for the Heavy Hitters tonight. He's done a good job behind the plate, working well with Luke Miller, his battery mate. Now, Miles Porter hasn't been very active over at first in terms of taking big leads. To see if he tries to get himself into scoring position for Santee.
Santee watching that one outside. We've seen a couple people throughout the course of, some of our games that we've had here that don't fit that typical catcher profile. Santee, a little bit more of that, has that, more solid base on there. We've seen a lot of lanky people. Justin Anzia,
I was just going to say, we got one on our club.
Not seeing him so far today. Potentially could it come in, but right now Ian Mary behind the dish. 2-1 counts Santee. Getting ready to hit, and that one popped up, and that one will be foul. Might have hit off the roof. A little bit of a thud there, but not too much going.
2-2 is the count.
Deuce is wild.
And hopefully we can get this third out and get some more runs in the bottom half of the fourth.
Silvosky, 2-2 pitch. That one will be outside. Pretty good pitch. Try to get Santee to swing, and you have a pitch to give up, so maybe you can make him swing on something that doesn't really have a chance to hit. Instead, makes it a full count.
Yeah, runner will be going now.
Porter does indeed take off, and Santee hitting that one deep, but Gus Walker easily able to range over and catch it, and damage is prevented for yet another inning. Sheboygan remains on top, 4-3.
Whenever you shop Meyer, you help support programs like Boys and Girls Clubs and Girls Who Code that show kids they can dream anything and do even more.
Carrier asks, what does comfort mean to you? We know it means more than just the temperature. And the people who invented modern air conditioning keep inventing new ways to make you comfortable. Carrier, turn to the experts.
For your heating and cooling needs, call Advanced Comfort Systems, Sheboygan's only Carrier factory authorized dealer.
Cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio.
Sheboygan coming into the bottom of the fourth inning, scraping together a lead thanks to a big fly from Gus Walker, who is about to come up. He'll be on deck to start off the inning. Leading things off, Ian Mary. Last time Sheboygan was up, mentioned that Jimmy Jorgensen's favorite movie, Step Brothers, featuring Will Ferrell. I was wrong about the other actor in that, but reason I bring that up is that another Will Ferrell fan is Ian Mary, with Talladega Nights as his favorite movie.
All right.
I just went in for a strike. Mary doing a very nice job behind the plate. He'll hit that one foul. Whereas a lot of times catchers won't really see too many fielding stats from them. A lot of times the best thing you'll have is the fielding assists. Justin Schnell with 5 on the year. So, a lot of caught stealing, but Ian Mary doing a very good job of just keeping the ball in front, not giving up any wild pitches.
Making some good decisions behind the plate, too, although couldn't hit that ball and goes down swinging for the second time in the ball game.
Mary punched out on that one. A very quick at bat for him as Gus Walker comes up. Walker finally, maybe the old walk-up music, starting to finally kick in.
Well, hopefully he'll continue his strong hitting. He showed signs of it the last couple of games that we've had.
He's been hitting it well, even if it, even on outs, hitting it very well, but Gus swinging through that one. Another one fouled off, a quick 0-2 count. And Miller making Sheboygan swing at things. Trying to get through this inning quickly. And I'm sure Milwaukee is hoping that Miller can get through it quickly. Has had to pitch a lot these past 2 innings.
Right, put on a lot of base runners the last couple innings.
That one fouled off.
Walker trying to steer it out in the left field. If he could get it over Boganagua's head into short left, he could have a stand-up double, because that left fielder is playing very deep.
The entire outfield actually very deep thanks to that big home run. Let's watch this one high.
One thing that seems to happen too, Charlie, when you're in a slump is it seems like you're always batting with 2 strikes on you. Count's never in your favor.
Gus still fighting things off very well. Jackson, our resident ball boy, getting that foul ball. Another 1-2 pitch onto Gus. That one well inside. Gus doing a very good job of working back from a quick 0-2 count. He's fouled off a few pitches, as well as now getting it to a 2-2. New Mexico native looking to do well, and he'll foul another one off.
Another good job of hanging in there. It's like we said before, say it again, you keep falling off those pitches, you get a little more used to the pitching, and hopefully the pitcher will make a mistake and you can get on base with a hit.
Pitch number 8 of the at-bat coming in, and Gus getting a nice hold of it. And very quick speed from Pajoka getting that one in.
We've seen some great outfield play tonight, especially by the center fielders. And we saw that great catch to end the game last night by Council.
And now Bennett Becker coming in, subbing in for Davis Wilson. Seems like his day and his career as an A is over. Very good to see Davis Wilson in for these 2 at-bats. Very good to see him in for a little bit. Now Bennett Becker will take over. Launches that one on the outside. Now maybe with his day over, Davis Wilson, even though it's not quite the same with the Dollar Dog Night, favorite food marked as brats out there, so you can say that's close enough to a hot dog, I suppose. Bennett Becker coming in. This to Carroll University and a native of Sheboygan. 2 balls, 1 strike to Becker. And you'll watch that one, top of the zone.
Becker seen pretty much action on the year. He's hitting .259. And one of the nice things about Bennett is that he's very versatile. You can play him in a lot of different spots, and he's really good defensively in all of those spots.
Full count with 2 outs, and Becker will draw the walk. Gets in with 2 outs.
Brings up Council. I don't know if you can see it on your monitor, but Jack is wearing yellow shoes. He got those from Willie Adamas.
Ooh. I do recall seeing Willie Adamas lots of those very bright shoes, and I guess it makes sense, especially with we've mentioned this before, but Jack Council's favorite player as Willie Adamas. Trying to sort through our bios, and I'm just going a few pages too low on our.
No, I'm just trying to make sure that we got everything the way we want it.
We do. 1-1 count on Council. Becker picked off on that one. And manages to get through. And
Can I give that error on the first baseman? That was just a terrible throw. But you're right, they had him picked off.
Becker dead to rights, but the throw from Lawrence just not. I don't think that was just. Not sure if it just wasn't strong enough. Or
how do you throw it short when you're only a foot away from your teammate?
Just an awkward throw, and ends up making that very good pickoff move, all for naught, and grounded over, and they will call it out. A little bit of a close play. Couldn't quite see all of what happened on our end, but does end up going for a ground out, and Sheboygan continuing their lead.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you don't just feed yourself or your family. You help support programs like Simply Give that feed our neighbors in need.
Thank you.
I grew up working in my family's supper clubs. This is where it started with us as far as the fish that we serve at Culver's today. We source the finest cod and batter each fillet by hand and always cook it to order. That beautiful golden brown color and flaky on the inside. The fish fry is a Midwest tradition. It's about families coming together. I love bringing this tradition to guests everywhere. Mom and Dad would be proud. Welcome to Delicious.
Wingism number 1, the Flavor Saver. Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 2, the Joker.
Then her dad walked in. Dude, we're done eating. Use a napkin. You serious? Yeah. Are you serious? Yeah, I'm serious. Why so serious?
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
Between innings, another edition of our inflatable race, and one of the most interesting ones we've seen so far. But
I think it was the best one ever. The guy fell down heading home. He got up, won the race, and fell over the finish line.
Of course, it's more amusing to see it yourself than just listen to us talking about it. So we always want you to come down to the park.
Enjoy the festivities.
Enjoy the festivities. Lots of things here. We have a mini golf night, so a lot of our between inning games involving mini golf. I believe it's a couple of mini golf places around the county.
Yeah, we had our 68 class reunion golf outing today. Had 20 golfers and plus a couple other guys that didn't golf but showed up. It was a very fun event, and we had 6 of those golfers were here last night watching the game, and in talking to them this morning, they all enjoyed it. Every single one of them said they really enjoyed being here last night.
Last night did have a little bit of a short on-the-spot interview with one of them.
Yeah, John Dahl came up. We talked with him. He's going to be singing the national anthem a little later this season.
He said July 26th.
I'll trust you on that.
It was somewhere late July.
Okay.
Just remember that
his rendition will be with the guitar and singing, and it's very, very nice. He's an excellent entertainer, by the way. He said, mentioned, I think it's this weekend, he's going to be singing at Christopher Gardens, which is along Lake Michigan, just north of Sheboygan.
3-1 count to Lawrence as he'll foul that one back to make it full.
Lawrence is 1 for 2 in the ball game, doubled and scored in the third.
Lawrence mostly has been having a pretty good game, but of course it did have that very strange error last inning.
Little flub on that throw. This in the bottom half of the fourth.
Full count getting set up for Silvosky. And
Ooh,
that one
was nice.
A nice breaking pitch clips the outside corner, and Lawrence goes down looking. Bring up Eric Rodriguez. 2 for 2 on the day with 2 singles.
I was looking up Lawrence's game from last week. He was 0 for 2 with a walk and had a sacrifice fly. So I guess the point is he's a good player. Just had an error. We all do that.
That one well in front of it was Rodriguez, but still managed to make contact. And that's just the thing with baseball. It doesn't matter how good of a player you are. You can just sometimes, you might have one team that you just don't do too well against, or you might just have a couple of off days.
Yeah. We all have a bad day. Right, CJ?
CJ claiming he never has a bad day, and because he's technically my boss, I'll agree with him.
I won't. You're not my boss. Well, kind of he is. Aren't you the boss up here? So if I disagree, am I right too? Oh, we just got... Was that you, CJ? Did you get thrown out? Somebody from the Milwaukee dugout just got thrown out of the game. I'm not sure what happened. Everything seemed to be cruising right along. Huh, Charlie? And all of a sudden...
I look away for a little bit, and all of a sudden...
Yeah, somebody's getting tossed. The Milwaukee manager coming down to talk to the umpire, wanting to know what the deal is.
And always interesting. Yesterday we did have another player in the dugout get ejected. So 2 games in a row that we see some weirdness out here.
One of the things that Denny Moyer stresses in his preseason talk to the players is to behave yourself. Represent your city well, represent yourself well. If you're a college student, represent your university well. And griping at the umpires is not the way to go. CJ, everybody has a bad day, right? Even the umpires.
Milwaukee's manager, I believe, just talking with the team, try Try to calm the crowd down.
Good point, Charlie.
Calm the crew
and we're
down.
just off camera. You just can't quite see a little bit more to the right, and you'd see the manager talking to his team, all of them standing at the railing of the dugout.
Savosky, I'm sure, going to be a little bit happy to have this rest. Has pitched quite a few innings so far. Has pitched quite a bit.
You see that player leaving the park now? Not very happy. And
don't believe
he's still getting a couple rips on the umpire, but
don't believe we could quite see it on our camera angle. Just, yeah.
No, you definitely couldn't see him walking out.
I mean, I don't even know if we get the dirt on the foul territory. I don't think we even get that on our a little bit on our wide angle.
2-1 is the count.
That one hit well. Gus Walker ranging back and still active in the field. Gus Walker puts out another one with that catch.
Fans, what we're seeing from Gus Walker and the Milwaukee kid, too, is we're seeing major league outfield play. I mean, these kids can run and get it.
Some tremendous outfield work from both Walker and especially...
You're not going to see better outfield play down in Milwaukee County, Milwaukee American Family Field. These guys are really outstanding.
I think Gus Walker could outfield Joey Weaver.
I don't know, but I'm just saying they're good. They're excellent. At this level that we're playing at, they are above expectations by a lot.
Walker, both center fielders for these teams have been tremendous. As the right fielder, Quiles, we'll take a look at that one.
Several times, our hitters have hit the ball into the alleys, and the Pachoka has just gone there and gotten the ball and made them look easy, actually.
This incredible speed from the center fielders, and Gus Walker also with that very good speed. And he's someone that, even if he does start off his year a little bit slow on hitting, of course, this game has, kind of at least, one game where he's hit incredibly well. Grand Slam, never something going to count out, but, even then, he's a tremendous fielder out there in center. So that's something you always want to have on your team.
Defense is important.
That one fouled back. Full count with 2 outs now for Quiles.
Pitching and defense can go a long way in helping your team win. And Sheboygan certainly has the pitching and the defense.
Another 3-2 to Quiles, and that one... He wanted to swing at that one, but just barely held it up, and I think he was pretty quick, might have been pretty quick to, to get over to first, don't give any time for an appeal. Because, again, you don't want to leave things in the hands of the umpire. So the appeal, you might have a second opinion. Maybe our base umpire sees that as a strike or sees that he swung through it.
Well, it wouldn't matter if he runs right away down to first base because the catcher could still ask for an appeal. Oh, almost got it.
Very close.
Good throw by Ian Mary, right? Anyway, I was going to say, just because, he runs right away down to first base doesn't mean the catcher still can't appeal, ask the umpire, and then they go down to first base. And if he said he swung, well, then he's out. Doesn't matter if he's standing on first or not.
Now on the outside, 2-0 count now on Pazoka. And Pazoka, that very good fielder. Also a pretty good hitter, 329 average coming into today's game. Watches that one in for a strike. 329 average, 421 on base, and 473 slugging. So has been hitting the ball pretty well.
Dawson so far in the ball game has walked 3 and struck out 3. He's got a 3-1 count now, threatening to walk his 4th batter. He got the first 2 hitters in quick order, and now he's running into a little bit of trouble.
You want to count Pazoka going to be swinging at that one. Skied pretty well out to right. Brady ranging over, and he will snag that one deep. Crashes into the wall for out number 3. And despite the 2-out walk, Sheboygan able to get through things unscathed.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support organizations like Hope House Mission and New Hope Shelter that give people around here warmth, shelter, and care.
Wingism number 3, the Peter Heater.
Oh, so hot. Oh, so hot!
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 3, the Peter Heater.
Oh, so hot. Oh, so hot!
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 4, tea time.
What are you, having tea with the Queen?
Hello.
Nice.
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
Coming into the bottom of the 5th inning now. Sheboygan still holding on to a tight lead. It's Carson Hansen, Harry Stout, and Brady Zackerson, the strongest, the power order of the Sheboygan coming in. Normally the 2-3-4, today 3-4-5. Carson Hansen settling in. Doubled last inning.
I was going to say he hit a long double. That was a good one.
I believe just a few feet short of being a home run. He'll swing at that one. Very strong foul ball. That one skied pretty far left and ends up landing right behind the ump. So, even if that one's not fair, showing off that that power that Hansen can show. 0-1 count now. I was going to watch that one on the outside. One count now to Hansen. He'll foul that one off. And usually Marty takes care of the trivia, but you know what? I think I'll take it for this one. I still have the list out here. This one, I don't think we really need to toss it to our people out here in the booth because they know this one. But the 2022 Sheboygan A's set the franchise record for wins in a row. How many wins did the team have to set the new record? We'll give you people out on the internet a few at-bats to consider your answer. Or we'll give that out.
And I think you mentioned earlier in the broadcast that CJ actually had that as a question here inside the park. Yeah, last night was it, CJ? Had that same question. They're stealing from us, Charlie.
Yep.
We got to start hiding our trivia questions. Can't trust that CJ guy.
One-two count. Hansen still managing to fight off a few pitches with 2 strikes. Continue things there, and a very nice breaking ball, but just outside, I think.
I don't know how he took that pitch. It looked awfully good. Tantalizing.
I mean, maybe that's one where when you're in the box, it doesn't look as close as it was, as another one fouled off, but I wanted to swing at that one.
I was going to say, when they're all up there at the bat and the guy's pitching and pitch comes in, we think it's really good, and the game just keeps going on. They know that wasn't a strike, even though we think it might have been.
Hansen fouling more off. I lost count of how many 2-strike pitches he's fouled off. 2-2 count now on Hansen. Still making Miller pitch. He has pitched quite a bit. At some point we'll figure out the pitch counts, and Hansen to swing through that one. No, that one looked to be another ball, but still a little bit close. Hansen swing through that one to bring up the Northwoods cleanup hitter, Harry Steltz.
That's strikeout number 5 for Luke Miller to go along with 3 walks. He's only given up 4 hits. Of course, the one was a grand slam.
Harry takes a nice breaking ball for a strike. On one, this one going outside. So Miller, despite having quite a few pitches, still able to really vary where he's throwing it. Nice inside pitch, followed by an outside. That one looked to be more down the middle, but probably a little bit low. Again, a little bit awkward from our angle to fully see how things are called. 2-1 pitch now to Harry. And that one hit well off the bat, an awkward hop, but Harry not even bothering to drop the bat. He's just going to carry it the entire way over.
Ramos doing a good job of navigating that bad hop and making a nice play over to first.
Ramos just, again, a very, it did take a bit of an awkward hop at the end there, but, still holding back on it. And Harry just, that one, I don't think he was too happy with the hit, even though it sounded very nice off the bat. Went off the end of the bat, CJ says. And I'll trust him on this one.
Yeah, it didn't sound good to me off the bat. It off the end is about right.
1-1 count now to Zackerson.
Neese waiting on deck.
Brady struck out and reached on a fielder's choice. Also got a stolen base after his fielder's choice reach. It's 2-1 count now. Luke Miller.
Maybe we didn't give Brady enough credit for that catch he made out in right field where he caught it and then crashed into the wall and was able to hang on to it. He had a long way to go to make that catch, too.
That one did swing through that one. And Brady, a few, was probably a few steps away from the wall, but still, you going that fast, you can't slow down in time. So, rolling off the wall, which I don't believe our cameras are able to get that corner quite.
No, we couldn't. Our fans wouldn't have seen that on our camera angle.
Brady watching one well outside, brings it up to a full count.
Luke Miller still throwing pretty hard for this late in the ball game, and he has thrown a lot of pitches, that's for sure.
Had a pretty intensive second and third inning as Brady watches one that was very close. Brady not too happy with that call, but not going to fight it too much as we head towards the top of the sixth.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you shop for more than yourself. You help support sustainability in all our communities.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow, and for years to come.
At Northwoods, we are a family. And like your family, our main concern is safety. As a leader in the cleaning and sanitation industry, we're doing our utmost to support and supply essential cleaning, sanitizing, and maintenance products to your family and business. And we're introducing new products, like our Cool Water Personal Hand Sanitizer with essential oils. Our thoughts and prayers go out to everyone affected by COVID-19. At Northwoods, we're protecting you through this pandemic and the next.
Charlie, I'm supposed to help you in the broadcasting deal, and I think I'm doing a good job because you're learning. You forgot to give the answer. We presented the question. Why don't you give us the question again and the answer?
So our question that we presented at the beginning of last inning was the consecutive wins that the Sheboygan A's set, which was 17 at the towards the, I believe it was the middle of the year last year.
They were 10-10, I believe. Then they ran off 17 in a row, and through the course of the rest of the season, they had more wins than losses, and finished with an outstanding, I believe it was 43 and maybe 21 record.
believe we have a new pitcher on the mound. I believe that is Michael Martinez.
Looks like it.
That one, a little bit of a defensive shuffle. Harry over at first base now, still trying to working through our defensive substitutions. That one fouled well back and into New Jersey Avenue. 1-1 count now. Martinez starting things off here. That one watched outside. To out Garcia. So far, 1 for 3 on the day. Has an RBI single. Got that back in the second. Martinez, 3-1 count. Martinez settling in, and we'll throw that one. Strike just at the top of the zone.
Dawson Silvoski went 5 innings, gave up 9 hits, 3 runs. They were all earned, walked 3 and struck out 3, allowed the home run. He's in line to get the win if Sheboygan can hold a lead.
That one hit pretty well by Garcia and over the head of the new defensive sub, Cooper Gussie. And that one will be a easy stand-up double for Yedvier Garcia to lead off. Riley Palmquist also coming into the game, playing at third base. Ramos coming up, 0 for 2 on the day. Walked in the first. Setting up Martinez. And a little bit of a pretty big secondary lead from Garcia over at second. Took a few steps off of the bag following.
Charlie, did you give our viewers defensive changes?
Did a little bit. I don't think we went fully in depth.
So now we have Harry's over at first base. Bennett Becker's at second. Riley Palmquist is at third base. Council still at short. Ball has popped up on the infield.
Council settling under that. Pretty easy grab there.
In the outfield, we still have Hansen in left and Walker in center, but playing right field is Cooper Gussie. And, when you get in like that in a ball game defensively, all of a sudden you get tested right away.
Yep.
Guy hits one out to you, and now you got to perform. Of course, that ball was hit pretty hard. There was no way he was going to get that.
Brings up Miles Porter. Swing on the first pitch, and Riley easily up there and taking off, and a very strong and aggressive play out there by Garcia. Even on the out, but Garcia, that high speed. Riley, a very strong throw over to first, and Harry able to quickly relay it back to third, but now before Garcia can advance on the ground out.
Bobanagua.
And that brings up the possibly, even on this team with stacked hitters like Milwaukee, possibly the most dangerous hitter. And Pedro Bobanagua hit a very long home run.
It's interesting when you look back, we talked about this earlier, but his first game last week, he goes 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts, and tonight, for a while there, he was a single, and all of a sudden a long home run, a no-doubter. But his last at bat, he struck out again. Hopefully Martinez can do that.
Pitch that one outside. And I believe on that strikeout, Bobanagua did work a pretty long count. if I recall
I don't
correctly.
remember exactly. He did take strike 3, and he didn't like it.
That one checks and said he went, or maybe even said that he foul tipped it, but regardless, is a strike for the 2-1 now. Martinez settling in, coming to relief on the 6th inning. But now go big swing through that one. No doubt that was a swing.
This is Martinez's 7th appearance. He's coming into the game. He went 9 1/3. He's gotten 2 outs so far, so he's got 10 innings this season. He does have 11 strikeouts. So pretty good job by Michael.
And a very nice breaking ball there. And Martinez, a very nice job on that one to get the heavy hitter in Pedro Bobanagua out. And that will lead Sheboygan to the bottom of the 6th inning.
Let me tell you a story about a beer rooted in the heart of America, found in a community where a handshake is a sure contract, brewed for those who found opportunity in challenge and hope in tomorrow, raised by generations willing to sip, share, risk, remember. This is a story bigger than beer. This is the story of the American spirit.
All right, guys, we got teriyaki, honey barbecue, and mild. Enjoy. All right, DOA wings, hottest on the menu.
You got a problem?
Bottom of the 6th, Jacob Nisa, I believe, getting settled in. Couple of switches on the defensive end means a couple of new hitters. But
yeah, we only have 4 hits throughout the ball game. We're just having trouble with Miller. He's certainly walked enough guys, but we just can't get another clutch hit.
For the most part, when Sheboygan has made contact, it's been pretty much right to the fielders, or it's been tracked down very well by Pachoka out in center field.
Yeah, he's had a couple of nice catches. I've got him for 2, but both of them were very well hit and in the alleys. He had to go a long way to make the grab.
1-1 count now on Nice. Going to swing through that one, trying to break a little bit out of the slow hitting. But Nice, so far, he is responsible for 2 of those 4 hits for Sheboygan. 2 for 2 on the day. Watches that one. Sorry, can't read my own writing. Second was a walk in the second one. 1 for 1 on the day. And swings through that one. Don't think he really wanted. I mean, he certainly would want to take that one back.
Yeah, Miller threw a nice pitch, and what the difference in some of the other pitches with that last pitch, Charlie, was it was a different speed and a breaking pitch, and looked pretty tantalizing up there. It's hard to lay off the high hard one, and Jacob swung and missed. We give Miller some credit on that strikeout.
Settling in is Riley Palmquist, getting his first at-bat of the night. Came in for defensive subs in the last inning.
Looking at my score sheet, Miller in the 5th struck out 2 out of the 3 hitters, and now he's led off the 6th with the strikeouts, so he's getting a little tougher as we move along.
So that one behind. 3-0 count. Riley doing a solid job of keeping his goal, keeping ready to get on base.
And going back to Miller and his pitching, he's retired the last 5 Sheboygan A's till right now.
And that will put Riley on first. Riley, a fairly speedy guy out there on the base paths. 7 stolen base. 1 stolen base on the year. 1 stolen base, 1 caught stealing, but still a very solid base runner out there. As Mary will watch one outside. 1-0 count. Miller still pitching deep into this game. And 1 high. Milwaukee not training anyone in the bullpen right now. No one active in Sheboygan's either. It's another 3-0 count.
Yeah, get some people on and get a clutch hit. That's what we need.
Just trying to, while we have held this lead since the 2nd inning, still always want insurance against a strong team like this, as one just barely inside the strike zone. 3-1 count now on Mary. Sheboygan native. As he watches that one in. That will be ball 4. 2 straight walks for Milwaukee.
Okay, we're working our way along, and now Walker coming up. That looks good. But see the Milwaukee manager coming out. Let's see what he does.
Didn't see anyone out there in the bullpen for Milwaukee, but in these in leagues like this, we have seen a few times already that sometimes someone might just move from the field onto pitching right away. So potentially we could see some of that, or maybe Milwaukee still trusting in Luke Miller.
Up, he's sticking with him.
Miller, 9 pitches for 2 walks. But does have the strikeout to start off this inning, which brings up Gus Walker. Walker has hit Miller pretty well. Of course, had that grand slam, but even his flyout was one of those ones that was right in the alley that Pazoka had grabbed.
2 runners on for Sheboygan.
That one on the outside. Gus Walker pretty active on the defensive end as well. And that one well high.
Yeah, that's when you start pitching like this, and you start to wonder how many of those pitches from early on are starting to catch up with Luke Miller.
Definitely the fatigue of playing so far into this game starting to catch in, but a very nice breaking ball in there. But you got to think that maybe Tim Moyer telling the A's to be a lot more patient with it right now. We've seen that he's starting to miss the zone a decent bit.
Yeah, good point, Charlie.
But Gus going to swing at that one, which will careen out foul. 2-2 count now.
Gus wearing the stirrup socks. You don't see that very often. I like the look. Come on, Gus.
2-2. And that one outside makes a full count.
Lucas Schulze thought that one was a strike. Lucas running the camera again for us tonight.
I always appreciate when we have him on camera. It makes less work for me to do, as Gus will foul that one off.
Yeah, Charlie, not quite as much multitasking.
No. Trying to keep score, trying to call the game, trying to do the cameras.
So how does this work? If our viewers have complaints about the camera work, send your notes to Lucas.
And Gus will actually take a called strike on that one. And it was a close call there. Gus not happy with it. Our crowd out here at Wildwood not tremendously happy with it either.
8th strikeout.
Brings up Bennett Becker. Walked in his first appearance. So far, no hits given up.
He
in
got
this
picked
inning.
off of first and reached second on the air. Remember that?
Did we ever give out our sponsorship for the error?
Yeah, did we get a Butterburger?
Okay. Last half inning got that out.
5 innings later, you gave it out.
he's a busy. CJ's a busy guy. That one on the outside corner, and Becker not happy with that one.
That's Lucas's job. Schulze's not working again.
1-2 count now on Becker. And he will swing through that one. And he wanted to take that one back right away, but Luke Miller able to work out of 2 walks with 3 strikeouts of his own.
Oh.
Estimated hold time is now less than 96 minutes. We thank you for your patience.
Sorry, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, please hold.
Our 50-50 raffle just finishing $207 given away.
Yeah,
in
that's a pretty good
today's-
amount.
Good.
A nice crowd out for a
very
night,
nice.
for just an exhibition game. We had a good crowd, but the dollar hot dogs with the dollar sodas,
think that
might be a difference maker.
As you're out there, still a pretty good crowd out here, even as we get pretty late into the night. Top of the 7th.
We mentioned last night that today was the longest day of the year, and we're finishing that out now.
And one thing that's been pretty nice just about the weather, sometimes during some of our games we have a little bit of difficulty seeing the scoreboard just with some of the way that the lights end up working out. But today, you can see it pretty fine the entire time.
The last couple games, we've not had those issues.
Ryan Santi, the catcher, coming in.
Our next game is going to be on Friday at 7:30. We play the Milwaukee Beavers. We will be the visiting team that night. It's part of the WABC tournament that will continue Saturday and Sunday with most of the games being played in West Bend. So come on out here on Friday, see how your A's do, and then maybe you can follow them down to West Bend for their game on Saturday and Sunday. They won that tournament last year. I think it was Jimmy Jurgensen had a walk-off home run in one of the games, one of the wins, but that string of wins through this WABC tournament was part of that 17-game winning streak.
And I believe tomorrow A's also have a game out in West Bend, part of the tournament. Against the Sussex Cardinals.
That's in West Bend. Sussex Cardinals in West Bend.
That one will be watched high. 3-1 count on the Heavy Hitters catcher. Something that I'm not sure if we brought up too much in the broadcast, but at least we've been talking between innings, is just the disparity in hits between these teams, as that one will be popped up and out of play.
In that 4-run inning for Sheboygan, we had 4 hits. That can't be right. I'm looking at the wrong score. In that 4-run inning, we had 2 walks, a single, and then the home run. So 2 of the 4 hits came in that inning, but the big difference were the 2 walks.
Santee popping that one pretty high. And a miscommunication in Jack Council. Just dropping that one. And a bit of an unfortunate play on that one. Council struggling a little bit on defense, at least, to start off the year, but that's something that we had seen with the A's as a whole. A little bit slow to start off, some of the fielding.
Yeah, second error of the game for Sheboygan.
Have a pinch hitter in, Ahmed Young. Coming in for Milwaukee. Takes that one in for a strike. Martinez doing pretty solidly out here for Sheboygan. Young going to check on that one, but I believe just inside. Thought that might have been called a strike, but
Ahmed Young is a pretty versatile kind of guy. They got him listed as a third baseman and outfielder. He goes to Henry Ford Community College.
Launched another one inside.
I don't believe he played in the game last week. Nope.
Pinch hitting for Joey Lawrence. So despite being marked as the third baseman, being subbed in for the first baseman. That one chopped foul. 2-2 count now. Martinez doing a solid job out here. Martinez has been one of the more, consistently used relief pitchers for Sheboygan. Has had a number of appearances. Mentioned, I believe this is his 8th appearance?
7th appearance.
7th appearance.
And he's made
today.
One of those appearances was a start.
That one fouled out of play. And just out of the park. Can see it rolling down onto, just hitting the grass out on the sidewalk. It's barely rolling out there. Surprised we don't have too many people trying to search for that $1 extra from the concession stand. Could buy yourself a hot dog today.
Martinez hanging in there pretty good, as is Ahmed Young. Nice ground ball. Double play would be really sweet.
2-2 pitch to Young. That one well outside, and Mary not able to block that one. Santee going to take a wide turn over at second, but not going to test it there. Wild pitch advances Santee. Now the full count for Young.
Martinez does have a 1-0 record, no saves. But, yeah.
And we'll draw a walk, does Young.
Young had a good at-bat there because he got down in the count and was able to hang tough. And Moyer coming out. Be interesting to see if he makes a pitching change right here.
Believe we do have someone from the bullpen. Not sure if they were just prepping up or if that's actually coming in for the game. Don't believe we have anyone yet coming in.
He may be just out there trying to settle Michael down, and hopefully it works. If you remember, I think it was back in second inning, Dawson loaded the bases with the 7, 8, and 9 hitters and was able to work out of it with only 1 run scoring. Hopefully Martinez can do a little better than that and not allow any runs.
Eric Rodriguez settling in for Milwaukee. You going for the bunt. That one well foul, but Harry and Riley both in. Infield pretty far onto the grass. middle.
Council playing right behind the runner at second base, trying to keep him close. Now he backs out.
And that one, solid, and got him! Ian Mary with a very nice throw to pick off Santee, going for the steal.
And what happened to Young? Fell asleep on the play, never took second base.
That one a little bit, I'm thinking that maybe what they're trying to do is, with that bunt attempt, you take Riley off the bag, you maybe can, sneak the runner in behind, or if you manage to get down on a bunt, might, pull him off, get easy run in there with the third baseman retreating.
Hopefully that'll provide a little inspiration for Michael Martinez. Good play by his catcher, like you called, Charlie. Ian Mary with a strong throw down to third.
And, that one, it's a difficult play for Riley to make. He has to completely retreat over to the bag, but still got it, still applied a tag. Martinez, a solid move over there, but
Young getting a pretty good lead that time, and good play by Martinez to drive him back. Keep that guy close.
Rodriguez going to follow another one back.
Rodriguez having a nice night. 2 for 3 with a run scored. We're in the top of the 7th.
And now Young taking off. That one hit high up to center. Gus Walker ranging in and will not attempt a throw to first. Gus just going to retire on the pop fly, bring up Sean Quillis.
We had a play similar to that a couple of games ago where I think it might have been Kenosha, their shortstop went over and put his glove down on the base like he was waiting for a throw, trying to deke the runner into keeping on going and maybe sliding in. We were able to react to it and get back to the base, and it was a similar play right here, but Young doing a good job of getting back to where he belonged.
Jens grounding that one, and an easy play out there gets Martinez out of another inning of work, and Sheboygan still holding strong 4-3.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support programs like Boys and Girls Clubs and Girls Who Code that show kids they can dream anything and do even more.
Carrier asks, what does comfort mean to you? We know it means more than just the temperature. And the people who invented modern air conditioning keep inventing new ways to make you comfortable. Carrier, turn to the experts.
For your heating and cooling needs, call Advanced Comfort Systems, Sheboygan's only Carrier Factory authorized dealer.
Cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio.
Max Guts in. Okay. New pitcher in for Milwaukee, Max Getz, number 44, out there for the Heavy Hitters. Luke Miller pitching strong into this game, but now it's up to Max Getz to finish up with these final innings.
Miller finished with 6 innings pitched. He gave up only 4 hits, but gave up the grand slam to Walker, so he allowed 4 runs. They were all earned. He walked 6, and 2 of those walks did wind up scoring in that inning when Sheboygan got their 4 spot. And he also had 9 strikeouts, so not a bad outing for Miller.
Very strong outing, but just had the one inning where a single hits just really hits against him, and still this game very front loaded in terms of the offense, but Jack Council hoping to turn things around a little bit more. 1 for 3 on the day. Singled back in the first. Sky that one pretty high up, and grabbing that one will be Eric Rodriguez, now playing over at first. Justin Schnell now coming in.
Schnell has played the outfield for us in the past, and he's coming in for Hansen. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him out there in the 8th inning.
Hansen, his day is done. Now regular catcher for Sheboygan, settling in for the left fielder. Could potentially still be in left. Watch that first one for a ball on Gretz. And swinging through that one. Hardy swing there by Schnell.
Yeah, you got a good rip at that one. Gretz looks pretty good.
Another one in, and Schnell hitting it pretty far deep into left field, and that one will be grabbed. Can't quite tell who that is out there, thanks to the defensive subs.
So Rodriguez moved to first. We don't know who's out in left.
Brings up Harry Stelt, someone who, even with 2 outs, is a dangerous hitter for Sheboygan.
Yeah, Harry walked and scored in that 4-run second. Was hit by a pitch and grounded to second his last time up.
Watches that one in. Ground ball to second. Didn't, still kept the bat in his hands. I think he knew that unless there was a very bad throw, that was fairly routine play. And he'll line that one into a very nice hit out there by Harry. Nice piece of opposite field hitting for yet another single.
Brings up Cooper Gussie. Gussie is a 6-foot, 220-pounder. Attends Whitewater University. He's from Plymouth. That's your hometown, isn't it, Charlie?
Another Plymouth native. Kind of expect to see a few more people from Plymouth with this. About 15.
Cooper
20
would have
minutes
played
out.
for Butch Kane, which is a longtime baseball coach at Plymouth High School. Does a great job with that program.
Down outside corner. And you got to think that, for a righty hitter, that Gretz very difficult to go against. He has a very closed off stance, so you can't really see the ball until, right as it's about to be thrown. And Bobanagwa, a very quick liner, but that one throw was a little bit off, but ends up not mattering as Gussie will ground out to end the 7th inning.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you don't just feed yourself or your family. You help support programs like Simply Give that feed our neighbors in need.
Thank you.
Wingism number 1, the Flavor Saver. Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 1, the Flavor Saver. Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 2, the Joker.
Then her dad walked in. Dude, we're done eating. Use a napkin. Are you serious? Yeah. Are you serious? Yeah, I'm serious.
Why so serious?
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
Whenever you
Top of the 8th inning. Milwaukee ready to keep going in this. Last inning, we did have a fly out to left field from Justin Schnell. That one was caught by Marcus Jens, was the one who moved out to left field for Milwaukee. Martinez getting ready for yet another inning of work. Gonna take his time on this one. And a nice pitch in there. Of course, always like, mentioning that, one of the farther out people from, to come to Sheboygan, Hurricane Utah. And, we have a lot of things where it's, their favorite players, their favorite teams, foods. And we also have a section for other information you would like to share. We saw some things like Davis Wilson had, mentioning that, the arm injury, so not going to be able to pitch too much. Michael Martinez's other information just says, the guy! Exclamation point. So.
We don't know what that's about.
It means that he's the guy.
You're going to have to go down there on Friday and check that out, Charlie.
Another strike in there. 2-2 count now on Pajeka.
Check of the 9-hitter. He's 1 for 3. Playing a good center field.
And swing at that one. Becker will grab that. And despite the speed of Pacheka, still Becker able to get the out on that one to bring up Yedivier Garcia.
Garcia's been a thorn in the side of the A's with a couple of hits and an RBI.
Garcia also playing a solid shortstop position. Of course, the infield for the Heavy Hitters hasn't been all too active.
Yeah, Martinez in his 3rd inning of work. He's pitched pretty well. Giving up 1 hit and 1 walk. He struck out 1.
That one will be another pitch outside. He has shown how well he can hit so far today. On the year, Garcia 346 average, 414 on base, and a 481 slugging. So, Garcia, as we've seen, he's able to get on base pretty effectively. Did have the walk and the single so far today. Another one high. Martinez trying to dance around the zone a little bit, seeing how Garcia has been able to pick apart the A's pitching staff today and doesn't want to pitch to him, and that'll draw a 4-pitch walk.
Yeah, none of them were very close. Not good control that time. Hopefully he can pick it up here against Ramos.
And, of course, we did see a little bit in the last time that he was on base, Garcia with a lot of speed. So
yeah, and he had a stolen base back in the 2nd inning.
Uncontested stolen base on runners at the corners. And bunt attempt, and that one will go wild. One of the easier base advancements that Milwaukee could ask for, and something that
the batter squared around the bunt, Charlie, and kind of stuck his bat out there like he was going to bunt, and then he pulled back, and that little motion with the bat in the strike zone may have thrown Ian off a little bit, and he had trouble tracking the pitch.
And a very wide lead from Garcia over at second.
The other thing that happens when you have a pitcher that seems to be all over the place like Martinez is this inning, it's hard to get a pitch called a strike when they're close because the umpire just isn't seeing the ball so well.
And a stolen base from Garcia. That will bring a runner on to third. That one, kind of a sneaky steal. Didn't quite see he was taken off until he was already almost there.
Not good attention being paid to that runner. That's part of the problem.
And Martinez finally throwing a strike in there.
And with the runner on third now, the infield is all in, trying to cut the runner down at the plate.
That one swung, and that will tie up the game. Emiliano Ramos getting his first hit of the ball game in a big way for Milwaukee. 4-4 now. That RBI single to bring up Miles Porter. Porter 1 for 4 on the day with a single in the 4th inning. He'll hit that one well out to left field.
That's not going to get caught.
Being tracked down, but not in there, and fumbling with it in left field, and that will allow the runner to score. Emiliano Ramos running all the way in from first on the RBI double.
That ball was scalded, and Martinez just not fooling him like he was earlier. Tim Moyer is going to be coming out to talk to his pitcher again. And now they have the lead, 5-4.
Martinez pitched a very good game up to this point, but with Milwaukee, things can turn against you pretty quickly. I mean, even the start of this inning, a pretty quick ground out to Bennett Becker over at second base, and then
once he got that first out, then he just didn't find the strike zone. He walked the next guy, and then he throws a wild pitch to the third hitter, get the guy to second. Then he doesn't pay attention to the runner at second, and the guy walks into third basically. And now 2 hard hit balls, and they're going to stick with him. It's interesting.
Tim Moore just hoping that Martinez can work out of this. That brings up Pedro Bobanagua. Bobanagua has had an interesting series so far against Sheboygan. 6 strikeouts, but also a big home run. As he'll swing through that one.
He's an all-or-nothing type of guy.
At least he has been against Sheboygan. Had the 1 single back in the first, but otherwise home run, 6 strikeouts. As Mary catches that one, stops that one from going wild.
1 ball and 1 strike. Let's get it out here. Martinez.
That one outside again. Doesn't look like Sheboygan has anyone out in the bullpen.
You got to wonder the thinking with Tim. Now, he's got a game tomorrow and Friday for sure. And CJ saying Saturday also. So he might not be wanting to get into his bullpen too far. So he's got pitchers left for these next 3 or 4 days.
So if, and another thing, CJ, clear.
The point is there's a lot of games coming up, and he's got to keep pitchers ready for those games. This game doesn't count. I mean, you want to win it, obviously, but if you lose it, you don't lose any standing in your leagues, and it's not a tournament. So he's trying to milk Martinez for as much as he can get out of him.
Non-league, no tournament. Still, again, that, always want to pick up win, as now it looks like might have been some bullpen movement for Sheboygan, as Bobanagua will walk. Close pitch on that one.
And that's going to be it. Moyer coming out again.
Martinez, again, those first 2 innings did very well, but kind of all fell apart out here in the 8th. Pitched, I believe, 7 straight balls to the top of the order following that ground out.
Trying to see who's coming in.
Martinez did have a decent, just a solid performance through those first 2, but...
Yeah, what we don't know about Martinez is what's his role when he pitches with his college team. If he's mostly just a relief pitcher, he's probably just doesn't have the stamina to throw 4 or 5 innings. I'm sure Tim would have loved to have gotten, the rest of the game on him, get 4 innings. But he gave him 2 and a third, which isn't too bad, like you said.
What was the first name for him? It's number 22. Anthony Yust coming in, someone who, out from Lakeland, someone who is a little bit new to our squad. Don't have any information on him because I believe he just showed up today. Just recently brought in by the A's. So Just, again, just seeing how well he can do. Coming in a little bit of relief. Again, it is these non-league games that you can, maybe go through, see what you have from some people you don't normally see.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity for Anthony to show him what he's got, and that's one way you work your way into the regular rotation of playing. Got to get it done.
With that, again, non-league game, we see a lot of people that we don't usually see. Davis Wilson, a bit of an exception for Davis with this, being his last game, given the start. Haven't seen Ian Mary all too much. Had the subs in mainly from Cooper Gussie coming in. So a lot of times,
Well, getting these kids in the game is going to help Tim Moyer, and the team down the road, because now they've had a little more experience playing instead of just riding them on the bench for 20 games. And now you throw them in there because somebody gets hurt, and they don't have the experience. Get them in the game just like you've been doing. And Tim does a great job of that. Last year we saw it. The season before that, when they weren't very successful, we still saw it then. But the idea is get them playing. I mean, that's why they're out here. And, the idea of staying the course, you give those guys opportunities, get them a little experience down the road, they're going to help you.
I mean, as you were saying, obviously you never want any injuries to happen, but sometimes with sports, it just ends up happening regardless. So, having those extra people in who have some experience in game situations can really help out. Obviously a lot of these pitchers, high school, some college ball, working through all of that, but, it's a different league out here for, with Sheboygan.
Well, just watching Just throw his warm-up pitches, he had a little trouble finding the strike zone. Hopefully he'll do better once a batter steps in there.
Brings up Ryan.
Better give him the situation here. Charlie, what do we got for outs and runners on?
Got two runners on, one out. Bringing up Ryan Santee. 0 for 4 on the day, but reached twice on errors by Council.
Yeah.
Yes, that one pretty hard thrown, but outside. Settling in. Martinez responsible for both runners on base. Just trying to keep his teammates' ERA low. That one, very nice pitch out on the corner.
So far, Martinez has given up 2 runs. And, of course, like Charlie mentioned, he's responsible for the 2 guys on base.
1-1 count to the catcher will be outside.
So far for Martinez, he pitched 2 1/3 innings. He gave up 3 hits, 2 runs so far. Both of them earned, walked 3. That's part of what hurt his pitching here tonight, and they had 1 strikeout.
And those 2 hits that you mentioned, both coming in here, and Council managing to dive, but not quite getting to it. That one goes through, and no throw finally in there. Porter comes in from second, and Ryan Santee picks up an RBI single.
Yeah, his first hit of the night, too, unfortunately.
And that's one that, Council had a decent play on that, but, by trying to hold that runner, not quite in position, and that's just some of the sacrifices you make with baseball at times.
Yeah, exactly. Get runners on, and, sometimes it pulls you out of your good defensive position. Good effort by Council. I almost thought that maybe what happened is he dove for the ball, and the ball actually went under his body. So he would have got there, but didn't quite stop it.
So, and of course, right now in the more of a double play position, not trying to hold the runner too much. Wilbanagwa not really showing to be too much of a stolen base threat. Still taking a solid lead as that one's fouled back. Say you had that same hit with the position that Council is in right now, probably a fairly easy double play ball right there.
You would have gotten at least 1 out, for sure.
This one maybe get out of the inning, but of course, sometimes baseball can get a little bit, give up some things and ends up hurting you. Sometimes that No, that sacrifice ends up paying off as another one fouled back. That RBI single was Milwaukee's 13th hit on the day.
Yeah, they've gotten a lot of hits tonight. Sheboygan not so much with only 5.
Really, up to this point, Sheboygan, while giving up those hits, still managed to strand a lot of people on base, but this inning just has struggled a little bit, and Just will step off. Just would love to tell you a little bit more about Just, but again, very new to the team, haven't had time to go through with a play bio. Also not on our preseason roster. Again, midseason acquisition, as that one is lined foul.
Not counting this inning, of course, because it's not over, but so far the Heavy Hitters have left 11 runners on base. I mean, it's a 2-run deficit. That's bad enough, but I'll tell you, it could have been a whole lot worse.
Especially with Milwaukee being such a strong hitting team, a lot of opportunities with those 11 runners left on, with some hitters like this, can really take advantage of some of the situations, but Sheboygan managing to hold things down, and Just with a very nice breaking ball gets that second out of the inning on Ahmed Young to bring up Eric Rodriguez.
Sheboygan, because of their lack of hitting, has not left as many runners on base, only 7, but even that through 7 innings is quite it's too many.
Ideally, you want to leave no runners on base, but hopefully that means you scored a lot of runs and not that you didn't get anyone on base. Now, Just coming in against Rodriguez. 2 for 4 on the day. 2 singles and 2 flyouts to Gus Walker.
Who's this hitter?
Eric Rodriguez.
Oh, it is still Eric. Okay. Thought you said some other name.
Couple of substitutions, but Rodriguez staying in. That one is low.
He was the starting left fielder and then moved to first base.
Moved to first, Marcus Jens, who came in for Sean Quiles in the last plate appearance, last inning. Moved to left field to replace Rodriguez there. And that one skied up in the air. Riley calling it off and grabbing it to end the inning, but a big inning for Milwaukee, scoring 3 runs and putting their lead to 6-4.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you shop for more than yourself. You help support sustainability in all our communities.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow, and for years to come.
You'd hope you'd keep it under 3 hours. I like the...
Coming in to the bottom of the 8th, we're about 2.5 hours into the game. Just talking, through that. A lot of our games so far early on in the year that we've seen at home have been in 7-inning games. So, kind of just a different perspective of time that we've seen from our, from these games. So, 2:30 as we head into the bottom of the 8th.
Looks like Brad Reinflesch might be pinch hitting for Jacob Neese.
Neese was scheduled to come up. It's 2 for 3 on the day, but this is Reinflesch coming in. Gretz still on the mound for Milwaukee. Had a solid performance in his first inning of work. Only gave up a hit to Harry Stelz, which, something that is very common for a lot of pitchers to see. And
the catcher threw down to second and just missed, hitting his pitcher with that throw. Oh, my.
And it's
a good thing that number 44 on the mound for Milwaukee was paying attention. Otherwise, he would have got clocked.
And it will indeed be Brad Rindfleisch coming up to bat for Sheboygan. Of course, normally a pitcher, but has seen some plate appearances throughout his career. Just his second one of this year, though. And he'll swing on the first pitch. And popped up. And Pachoka coming in to get that one. And a quick appearance for Rindfleisch, unless he... Well, he's
quick appearance for him, and a much easier catch for the center fielder that time.
I mean, I'm sure Brad would be hoping, for Sheboygan, they'd be hoping that that's not Brad's only appearance of the day, but
getting late. We're in the bottom of the 8th. They're only going to have one more chance after this one. Got to string
5
together
outs
some
to
hits.
go for Sheboygan as take that one inside. Riley Palmquist coming up. Walked in his only appearance so far on the day. Came in during the defensive subs in the 6th. As he watches one well inside, nearly gets hit by that one. Gretz settling in, 1-1 count. And that one outside. So really just working well against Riley so far, trying to diversify where he's throwing it, make sure that Riley can't, put a bead on where the ball is. 2-1 count now. That one pretty solidly in the zone and fouled well out onto New Jersey Avenue.
Palmquist with a 2-2 count. Charlie mentioned he walked his first time up. What Sheboygan needs to do is get some base runners and then get a couple of hits.
2-strike count. Riley hitting it pretty well, but lined right over to the second baseman, Ramos. And now Sheboygan still in a little bit of desperation. 2 outs in here. Ian Mary coming in for his 4th plate appearance. Hasn't made too much contact with the ball. 2 strikeouts and a walk on the day. But still has been doing very well behind the plate.
Yeah, he'd love to get a base hit, get that average up a little bit.
Watches that one inside. We've now 1 for 12 on the year. So still hoping to, again, still early appearances, still hoping to break out of a little bit of an early season slump is Mary, as he'll hit one fairly well out into right field. And a pretty easy snag out there for the right fielder. Not quite sure who that is, thanks to some defensive subs. But now heading into the 9th inning, Sheboygan still down, with Milwaukee leading 6-4.
Let me tell you a story about a beer rooted in the heart of America, found in a community where a handshake is a sure contract, brewed for those who found opportunity in challenge and hope in tomorrow, raised by generations, willing to sip, share, risk, remember. This is a story bigger than beer. This is the story of the American spirit.
All right, guys, we got teriyaki, honey barbecue, and mild. Enjoy. All right, DOA wings, hottest on the menu.
You got a problem?
Coming into the top of the ninth, Anthony Yest still coming in, pitched pretty solidly in relief of Michael Martinez at the top of the eighth, and still trying to hold this Milwaukee lead to only 2 to give a chance for Walker, Becker, and Council for Sheboygan.
Finishing off Martinez's line, he went 2 1/3 innings, gave up 3 hits, 3 runs, all earned. Walked 3 and struck out 1. Just trying to finish it out here for Sheboygan. Yeah, he didn't look too bad in that 2/3 of an inning back in the 8th.
I'm sure Tim Moyer would be very glad to have yet another relief pitcher out there, because while we do have some very good pitchers, and especially people like Brad Reinflesh, who's willing to throw 150 pitches in a game, always good to have those people in relief. You might have someone who, even the best pitchers might have an off day. So being able to, bring someone reliable in relief, always a good thing. As Marcus Jens comes up, squaring up to bunt, and will not take. That one looked to be a little bit, could have been a borderline call on either strike or if he was fully around with the bunt. And that one outside.
Yust throws very hard. Hopefully he can find a strike zone. Did walk a batter. His first hitter he faced, he walked, but he also had a strikeout in that other inning.
Just from Lakeland College. Not too many people we see out here from Lakeland, but
not too many, no. And this is going back several years. David Moyer, Tim Moyer's brother, was the coach for the A's for several seasons, and he was the baseball coach at Lakeland. During that time, they had rules where you couldn't coach your team in the summertime. So none of the Lakeland players could come to Sheboygan and play because their coach was managing here.
Jens Hardy cut there. Right now, Sheboygan, just a lot of people out from Marion, some people out from, just a few from Platteville. I think we've seen a few people from Stout, but, widespread of colleges out here in the area playing for the A's. And that one just clipping the inside corner, and Just going to take care of that. First one for the strikeout. Bringing up Zach Pachoka.
Pachoka, a little guy, but boy, he can really cover a lot of ground in the outfield. And he's the kind of kid you like to keep off the bases because he's a base-stealing threat.
Pachoka hitting it pretty well out to right field. Gussie ranging over, and a nice retrieval out there. A pretty hard hit ball from Pachoka, but Gussie.
Yeah, he put a charge in it, didn't he? Second fly ball he's hit out there.
That first one, I believe, was the impressive grab by Brady Zackerson where he
that might have been that one against the fence, right?
I believe it was. Brings up Yedvier Garcia. Garcia 2 for 4 on the day. Also grabbed a walk, has scored once, as well as having 2 stolen bases.
Don't forget that RBI.
RBI single was that first hit. Just that one a little bit high.
he throws pretty hard. He really pops that mitt. I don't know if our internet friends can hear that, but we certainly hear it here in the press box.
Throw that one a little bit low.
Throw it hard, you might get it in the strike zone.
The substitute ball boy, I believe that's Jacob Neese, number 17.
Yep.
That one checking in. Neese helping out. I mean, really Jackson's the star of the team, our ball boy out there for ball and bat boy for the A's. Looks pretty good in our nice black alternate uniform.
I think all the players look good in those alternate black uniforms. I don't care what CJ
And
says.
Council manages to get a nice throw out there and manages to retire Garcia. And now Sheboygan with just 3 outs to go, hoping to get a nice comeback win.
Hey, wouldn't that?
Estimated hold time is now less than 96 minutes. We thank you for your patience.
Sorry, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, please hold.
Bottom of the 9th, the last hope for Sheboygan coming into this game. Set for the bottom of the order. Going to the top, Gus Walker had the biggest hit of the game for either team with that big grand slam. But
just to give you an example of the way the game has moved along, when I look at the number 9 hitter for Milwaukee, he's come to bat 5 times. Gus finally coming up for his 4th time. You know, we just haven't turned the lineup over enough. We haven't put enough runners on base. We got to get some base runners and then get some hits.
First one in there for a strike.
And that's not a bad strategy. Take a pitch, you know, make sure he can throw a strike and then start to work on getting on base.
That one a little bit low. Kind of a little bit more of a sidearm delivery, not fully. I believe a 3/4 arm slot for Max Gretz.
Gretz, since he's come in, has done really well. He has allowed only 1 hit. Doesn't have any strikeouts, but it doesn't matter. His defense has done the work for him.
That's something that we've seen a lot here from Milwaukee, is a very solid defense.
Only 1 error in the game.
1 error off of what was initially a very good play with that pickoff move, but
right, yep.
You know, just
I think it was their first pitcher, Miller, picked off. I think it was Bennett Becker, and then in the rundown, the first baseman made a bad toss to his teammate.
And Gus, I think, a little bit lucky to get with that one. He seemed pretty behind on that. On the swing, but still makes contact with it, still fouls it off, keeps the at-bat alive.
That's important.
Doesn't really matter if you're behind or ahead of it, as long as you make contact with 2 strikes, and he fails to do so there.
Yeah, I think Gretz took a little off of that pitch, and Walker chased it and obviously missed it.
It was a very good pitch by the Milwaukee reliever out here. And Gus just not able to catch up, but Bennett Becker coming in, 0 for 1 on the day, walked back in his first plate appearance. He'll swing through that one. And Sheboygan really just, I think, trying to just get someone on base, and the easiest way to do that is with the base hit, but of course very difficult with how well this Milwaukee defense has been doing. It's a quick 0-2 count now on Becker. Jackson hustling out there for that foul ball. Oh, 2 now. Gretz staring down the leadoff hitter Becker. That one hit pretty well, but also very foul.
Bennett looking for his first hit of the game. Charlie mentioned he struck out his last time up and reached on a walk back in the 4th. Came in for Davis Wilson.
Watches that one low. Gretz up for the win, I believe. Yes, up for, right? He would have been.
Gretz would be the
one with the decision on him right now.
Right.
Win or loss. Currently,
Miller pitched the first 6 innings, and through 6, Sheboygan was up 4-3. So Gretz came in, and while he's been pitching, his team took the lead. So he's in line for the win.
Becker hitting that one out into foul territory, and Bobanagua not able to get there, just dropping behind him.
That was a tough play. That could be an error, I guess, but we're not.
No, and I think a little bit too difficult of a play to call that. It was a little bit overrun.
For Sheboygan, Michael Martinez is in line to pick up the loss.
Of course, I'm sure he would love it if Sheboygan can tie it or especially win it. Also a good first appearance for Anthony Yutz. 2-2 count. That one outside. Becker doing a very good job this at-bat of keeping things alive. A couple of fouled off second strikes. The count is now full. Becker came in relief of Davis Wilson earlier, and he swings through that one. That one well outside, and Gretz with another nice one there.
You mentioned it earlier when Gretz first came in, is that he's got that position where batters have a hard time picking up the pitch because he hides it so well, and that's possibly what could have happened with Bennett Becker, but certainly wasn't a good pitch to swing at. But, some of that delivery that Gretz has is it's tricky for the hitters to navigate.
And a lot of times when you think of really good pitching, you think they throw it hard, but Gretz has done a very good job of almost tricking the batter with just don't know when he's about to throw it, don't know where he's throwing it from, so it takes you a little bit longer to track where it is, and just few tenths of a second in baseball can mean a lot. Council, very solid hit out into right field, but that one pretty easily grabbed out there by, I believe, Ahmad Young, I think is the right fielder, which will end our game. Sheboygan had a very strong start to their game, but at the final hour, Milwaukee able to come away with it. A solid game from both teams nonetheless, as Milwaukee, their final line score, 6 runs, 13 hits, and 1 error. Meanwhile, for Sheboygan, 4 runs, 5 hits, and 2 errors. And those 4 runs coming in off of 1 swing of the bat from Gus Walker, with a very much a highlight play with that long grand slam. But in the end, just the consistency of Sheboygan not able to keep up.
All right. Charlie gave you the line score. Winning pitcher in the ball game was Matt Gretz. He went 3 innings, did a good job, gave up only 1 hit, had a couple of strikeouts. Losing pitcher was Martinez. Had a little bit of a tough outing, giving up those 3 runs in the 8th inning. Our next broadcast will be on Friday, a 7:30 game. When the A's play the Milwaukee Beavers. We will be the visiting team, but we'll still broadcast that game. It's part of the WABC tournament.
And with that, that will do it for our broadcast. Again, as Mike said, our next broadcast on Friday, a 7-inning game for that one. But until then, we'll see you guys later.